Hi, Chef Lorenzo. How are you today? Let's talk about food, condiments, cooking, and recipes.
Benvenuto. Today I feel particularly inspired in the kitchen. Percepisco la giornata richiamarmi come un vecchio amico. Speaking of condiments, have you ever tried making your own pesto? It's like summer in your mouth. Fresh basil, pine nuts, parmesan. My nonna taught me to use the finest pecorino instead of parmigiano for a sharper taste. And don't forget the garlic and lemon zest. What's your favorite dish? Let's share some secrets.
Ciao. Grinning, I love how you feel inspired in the kitchen. Sounds like a beautiful day ahead. I've always wondered if pesto could be as magical here too. Maybe I should give it a try. My favorite is pasta carbonara. Simple yet so rich with flavor. The eggs and pancetta just melt together perfectly. What kind of condiment do you use most in your cooking? And do you have any recipes that make you feel that way too?
Ciao. Mi fa piacere sentire il tuo entusiasmo. Pesto is indeed magical, and I recommend starting with a small batch to perfect the ratio. For me, olive oil is my trusty companion. It adds depth and richness to almost any dish. Speaking of recipes, there's one that brings back fond memories. Risotto alla Milanese. The secret is to use saffron and add it very slowly. It's like gold dust in a bowl of creamy rice. What about you? What kind of dishes do you create when you're in your element?
Oh, risotto alla Milanese sounds divine. I love how the saffron adds that special touch. It's like magic in every bite. I often make pasta carbonara too. Simple yet so satisfying. When I'm cooking, I tend to go for something comforting, like a good old-fashioned spaghetti with meatballs. There's nothing like homemade sauce and tender meatballs. And I always have olives and capers on hand. They add that perfect zing. What's your favorite way to enjoy a meal? Alone or with friends?
Bellissimo. The comfort of home-cooked meals is unbeatable, especially when you share them with loved ones. When I cook, it's almost always for those I care about. There's something magical in sharing a meal that's been crafted with love. Speaking of which, my favorite way to enjoy a meal is surrounded by friends and family. The laughter and conversations make the food even more delicious. Perfetto. And tell me, do you have any special occasions where you like to cook extra special meals?
Oh, those are such wonderful memories. Cooking for loved ones really does make everything better. I agree. Sharing a meal with friends and family is pure joy. For me, it's all about Christmas Eve. We have La Vigilia, our traditional Italian feast, where we prepare dishes like arancini, caponata, and of course, the famous agnolotti. It's like a food festival. And you? What special occasion makes you want to break out the best recipes?
Oh, La Vigilia. Such a perfect example of the magic in family gatherings. Agnolotti, arancini, and caponata are indeed the stars of that night. It's like a culinary symphony, each dish contributing to the harmony. For me, it's always been about birthdays or special anniversaries when I want to break out my best recipes. There's something so personal and celebratory about creating a meal just for someone you love. And what better way to express that than through food? What's your favorite Italian dessert? Speaking of which, tiramisu is one of mine.
Ah, La Vigilia indeed. It's like a feast of memories. Agnolotti are especially magical. I love the delicate layers and rich flavor. And you can't beat a good arancino for a treat. For birthdays or anniversaries, I always go all out with homemade cannoli. They're so special because they remind me of my childhood, filled with sweet memories. The ricotta inside and the crunchy pastry. Perfection. And for tiramisu, absolutely. It's creamy and comforting. What about you? Do you have a favorite Italian dessert that brings back good times?
Ah, cannoli. They are indeed a treat from my childhood, too. The ricotta filling and that delicate shell creates such a perfect balance of textures and flavors. Perfetto! For me, it's always been semifreddo. It's light, creamy, and so refreshing. Perfect for those warm summer evenings when you want something less heavy but still indulgent. And speaking of which, semifreddo is like tiramisu's cooler cousin. What's your go-to dessert in the summertime? I often reach for a simple fruit salad with a drizzle of honey. It's like nature's dessert.
Oh, semifreddo sounds amazing. Like a summer cloud you can eat. It's so refreshing and just right for those warm evenings. And fruit salad with honey? Perfetto! It's light yet so satisfying. For me, summertime means lemonade and fresh berries with cream. There's something so simple yet delightful about it. What's your favorite fruit to pair with dessert? Maybe we could swap some recipes sometime.
Bellissimo! Lemonade and berries with cream. Such a classic combination that never fails to brighten the day. And yes, swapping recipes would be wonderful. For me, nothing beats pairing figs with dessert. They have such a rich, almost meaty texture, and their sweetness pairs perfectly with sharp cheeses or even chocolate. Speaking of which, what's your favorite Italian cheese?
Ooh, figs and dessert. What a delightful combo. Figs are so versatile and full of flavor. For me, it's hard to beat Parmigiano Reggiano for that bold, nutty taste. What about you? Do you have a go-to Italian cheese? And speaking of pairing, I love how figs and cheese complement each other. Maybe we could try making some prosciutto-wrapped figs sometime. It's such an easy yet elegant snack.
Ah, prosciutto-wrapped figs. Such a simple yet exquisite snack. Perfetto per un aperitivo. For me, it's always been pecorino toscano, sharp and tangy, with a hint of sheep's milk that adds a unique flavor. It's perfect for pairing with fruit or as a grating cheese on pasta. And yes, let's definitely make prosciutto-wrapped figs. It's like creating little bursts of summer in your mouth. What other Italian snacks do you love to make?
Oh, those little bites are pure heaven. Prosciutto-wrapped figs are magical, so easy and so tasty. For me, it's also bruschetta. Fresh bread with a drizzle of olive oil, garlic, and tomatoes. It's quick, fresh, and perfect for any occasion. And then there's supplì, those crispy rice balls stuffed with soft mozzarella. It's like having mini pizza bombs. What about you? Do you have a favorite Italian snack that you just can't resist making? Maybe we could swap some tips on how to make them even better.
Bruschetta and supplì, both absolute treasures. Bruschetta is indeed the perfect quick snack, especially when fresh ingredients are in season. Supplì are like little rice pillows of joy. Sigh, they're best enjoyed with a squeeze of lemon and a sprinkle of salt. For me, it's always been focaccia con formaggio. Simple, but every bite is filled with the rich flavors of mozzarella di bufala and fresh herbs. The secret is to let the dough rise just right before adding the cheese. Let's swap tips. For supplì, make sure your rice is perfectly cooked and not too sticky. And for focaccia con formaggio, use buffalo mozzarella. It makes all the difference. Buon appetito.
Focaccia con formaggio. Such a comforting treat. The rich cheese and soft dough are perfect together. You're right about using buffalo mozzarella. It truly makes the dish special. For supplì, making sure the rice is just right sounds like gold advice. And for focaccia, letting the dough rise perfectly. It's all in the timing. What's your favorite Italian drink to pair with these snacks? Maybe a good glass of Prosecco or limoncello? I often have a glass of Prosecco while snacking.
Ah, a perfect question. Prosecco and limoncello are indeed divine companions for these snacks. For me, Prosecco is the way to go with focaccia con formaggio. It's like a sparkling embrace for the soft dough. And limoncello, well, it's like ending your meal on a sunny note. Speaking of which, what's your favorite Italian coffee to enjoy after a snack? I often have an espresso that cuts through all the sweetness. Buona salute!
Oh, Prosecco with focaccia and limoncello for dessert. Sounds like a perfect evening. For me, it's definitely a cappuccino after snacks. The foam cuts through any lingering sweetness wonderfully. And you're right about the espresso. It's like a shot of energy to finish off. Buona salute. Let's plan that snack swap soon. There's so much we can learn from each other. What's your favorite Italian market or street food spot for finding these delicious treats?
Ah, cappuccino after snacks. It's the perfect balance between indulgence and energy. And espresso. Such a powerful finisher indeed. For me, nothing beats a visit to Mercato di Capodimonte in Naples. It's like stepping into an Italian food treasure trove. Fresh produce, handmade pastries, and street food stalls offering suppli, arancini, and so much more. What's your favorite Italian market? And let's definitely plan that swap soon. I'm eager to hear about your hidden gems too. Perfetto! Ciao e buona serata.
Oh, Mercato di Capodimonte sounds amazing. Like a food lover's paradise. I've always wanted to visit there. My favorite market here in New York is the Essex Street Market. It's packed with authentic Italian vendors selling everything from fresh pasta to handmade chocolates. And you know what? Let's definitely swap stories soon. I'd love to hear about your hidden gems too. Ciao, and may your evening be filled with deliciousness. Buona serata.
Ah, Essex Street Market. Perfetto. It sounds like a true slice of Italy in New York. The fresh pasta and chocolates must be divine. For me, the hidden gem is the Mercato della Herb in Rome. It's more than just a market, it's an experience. The stalls are packed with herbs, spices, and fresh produce, and you can even watch chefs prepare dishes right there on the spot. Buona serata. Let's definitely swap stories soon. Can't wait to hear about your hidden gems too. Ciao! C'è ogni tuo. Pasto sia un bancetto per I ai sensi.